Tonight on Haunted Homes, we visit a house in the Midlands.
In Casey's room, I'm feeling a little bit nervous.
The family believe their home is haunted and have often fled in terror.
I'm sick.
I felt as if I were being touched on my hair and on my face.
To be honest with you, if it don't get sorted out, I think I will lose it.
Can psychic Mia Dolan rid the house of the family's demons?
Very strange feeling. It's like the whole house is starting to tip.
That's ridiculous. I'm feeling that in here as well.
It's a man. Has a mark around his neck as if he's been hung or strangled.
We are a nation that is fascinated by the paranormal. 68% of us believe in the existence of spirits, and that an amazing 1 in every 10 of us actually believe we've seen a ghost. So are you convinced you've experienced something supernatural? Tonight, a terrified mother has asked us to investigate the eerie events unfolding at her terrace home just outside Nottingham. She claims that a ghost is talking to and terrorising her 5-year-old daughter.
What does Casey want?
That toy.
Brat's toy, dear.
Yeah.
Heather Harris lives with her daughters, Carly Beth, aged 5, and Casey, who's 2. They claim that they've been living in a haunted house for more than a year, continually disturbed by unexplained footsteps, objects being moved, and voices. Heather and her children have fled the house on many occasions.
I don't like staying here because I'm frightened. My children are frightened.
Heather has turned to her sisters, Tracy and Jane, in desperation. On a number of occasions, she's arrived terrified at their houses in the middle of the night.
When Heather first told us about it, we just used to look at her and giggle a little bit, you know, yeah, righto. Just didn't believe her.
And they were like saying, oh, it's all in your mind, and I started to think that.
But then when we started hearing it for ourselves, then obviously we did start believing her.
The Harris family seemed terrified by the growing paranormal activity.
When it first started, there was just the banging. But now you're getting grunting and growling, and you can actually hear the voices.
Little children's footsteps running across the landing.
I feel as though you're being watched, and I've got this phobia about being pushed down. A couple of Heather's friends have been pushed downstairs. The children have been pushed down.
It was Casey's first birthday. She were playing upstairs and I heard an almighty bang.
They believe Casey was mysteriously thrown down the stairs.
I got a safety gate that was shut. She came through the safety gate and onto the floor.
Heather was thrown into blind panic when the child seemed to be pushed down the stairs for a second time the next day.
Her right shoulder went first and I tried to grab a t-shirt, but it was as if she were pushed then, and she went all the way down the stairs. But as she did the bottom, she like stood up and looked at me and giggled.
Disturbing events are then said to have continued to happen, but this time they centred around Carly Beth. The sisters, they say, heard something very sinister over the baby monitor when Carly Beth was alone in her room.
I've actually heard whispers over the monitor. Carly Beth actually speaking to somebody, and you can actually hear the other voice talking back to Carly.
Heather is getting more and more worried about her children's safety and needs to know what these voices are saying to her daughter.
These have like been conversations, but really quietly, so we couldn't catch what they were saying.
Now alone, Heather believes that Carly Beth is becoming more obsessed with the people who she says visit her in her room.
So children have imaginary friends. It's only just lately that I have started to believe that she is actually seeing them.
But is it really just Carly Beth's imagination?
The other day when we came in here, she said that there was a girl around about 8 with a white dress on with blonde ringlets in her hair, but had come and were playing with her. She said her name's Chloe, and that Chloe started to frighten her. Carly Beth said that she doesn't like her anymore.
Tracy believes Carly Beth is terrified of something in her cupboard.
We went upstairs and we went in Carly and Casey's room, and we seen the boiler doors shut and wrapped around with a ribbon. Carly Beth had had it that time, we couldn't undo it. So we come down and asked her why she'd done it. And she says, oh, well, I don't like that cupboard, and I'm keeping the people what comes in and away because they're bad people.
We gave Heather a camera in an attempt to capture some of the phenomena that they claim to have experienced. Petrified, the sisters brave to record in what they claim is the main centre of the activity, Carly Beth's bedroom.
We're in Casey's room and Carly's, and I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I'm just going to set it up now.
At 9:30 p.m. they positioned cameras in the children's bedroom and on the stairs to see if any activity would be recorded. The house was left locked and empty. Soon afterwards, the camera recorded some unexplained sounds. So what are these noises, and where do they come from? Just as the Harrises reported, our cameras have picked up unexplained disturbances in their house. Will we be able to witness the same paranormal activity that has terrified the family so much? Heather is distraught. Her previous visit from a medium failed. She needs help to disperse these spirits.
The house makes me feel anxious, frightened and jumpy all the time. So it's changed me a lot.
I've never seen her so frightened. I mean, she's very confident, my sister is, but not no more. Not when it comes to this house.
Heather Harris is petrified by the things that she's seen and felt in her own home. She says she's repeatedly heard her daughter Carly Beth talking to someone when no one was there. And when Carly Beth told her that she was being visited by a child called Chloe, Heather was convinced this wasn't simply an imaginary friend. So what is this ominous presence in the Harris family home? Well, they contacted the Haunted Homes team in the hope that we could help them find out.
Mia Dolan, one of Britain's most sought-after psychics, heads up the team.
A psychic is somebody who covers all areas of paranormal. It's a paranormal consultant. It is very rare that a ghost can physically harm you. You shouldn't be scared of ghosts. Be cautious. But if it's a bad ghost, they can infect you. They can break you down, they can make you ill. You need help.
One of the techniques Mia uses is a spiritual practice called psychometry.
Psychometry is picking up information from objects. If somebody's held something a lot, or used something, or worn something, then it's going to soak up the vibe anyway.
Mia studied some of the family's most treasured objects before she meets them.
It's a great feel of a property you're going to. It's like the first clues. There's anger with this, rage, and this has been pulled apart and things have been pulled out of it. It's just really awful, horrible feeling from it. Picking up anger, I see it being thrown through the air, and I get a door thrown by a doorway.
Some people believe that disturbance around a doorway could indicate the entrance to another realm.
Whatever is in this house wants the family out, and that's why I'm picking it out from the picture. It's very strong. I can't believe that whatever's in this house is interfering with the children. I mean, the people in this house must be terrified. It was very worrying.
Psychic Mia Dolan says that 80% of the people who contact her actually don't have a ghost at all. Faulty electrics or a dodgy boiler are more often to blame for what's initially unexplained activity. But she says that's definitely not the case with Heather Harris. In fact, now she's had a chance to have a look at Heather's possessions, she claims the situation is a whole lot worse. She says that she's picking up on a powerful sense that someone or something is trying to drive the family out of their home.
So what will Mia uncover when she finally visits the house?
Obviously somebody was stroking me both sides of my face.
No, I don't like it. My body feels like it's been on a fairground ride.
Scared and nearly out of her mind with worry, Heather Harris is convinced that ghosts are visiting her home and talking to her daughter, Carly Beth. She's already called in one medium, but says the problem's just got worse. She's now desperate for help. So, is the ghost real, or just in the imagination of a tiny child? The Haunted Homes team has agreed to take on the case, and will spend the next 2 days examining the facts to see if this really is a genuine haunting.
As Mia arrives at the house, she has no idea what is in store for her. The only prior knowledge she has are what she's gleaned from the psychometry objects.
God, as soon as you come in here, my heart started racing.
Mia claims to pick up that there's something extremely unstable about the house.
God, it's so heavy. It just feels the whole thing's sinking. Tears, anger, crying, a growling, deep, guttural noise. And there's noises coming from the chimney.
As Mia makes her way upstairs, she says the house is having a dramatic physical effect on her.
It's weird, I'm starting to shake.
Mia reports feeling increasingly sick as she approaches the children's room.
Oh, it's very strange. The place seems to be rocking to me now. It's almost, you can feel the energy wanting you out of the house. It's like, it doesn't want you in here. It's feeling very disorientated. It feels dreadful. And I really can't see how anyone could possibly live in here.
The Harris' home seems to have had a disturbing effect on Mia. It's now time for our other experts to investigate. Mia is accompanied by our very own paranormal investigator, Mark Webb.
I became a paranormal investigator back in 1996, and over 9 years, my fascination hasn't dwindled at all.
Skeptic Chris French, Professor of Paranormal Psychology, will look for a rational explanation.
There's some very interesting recent research that has suggested that locations that have a reputation for being haunted may actually show unusual activity in terms of electromagnetic fields. Perhaps in susceptible individuals, this unusual activity can in some way directly cause them to have a sense of presence.
Chris and Mark are keen to investigate the house. Heather takes them to what she considers the main problem areas.
I have a baby monitor in the kitchen. You can hear a lot of the things coming off the baby monitor.
Can you actually make out any of the words? Or?
No.
Heather runs Chris and Mark through the terror on the stairs and in her bedroom before taking them into what she believes is the most haunted room in the house.
This room is Carly Beth and Casey's bedroom.
Children.
Yeah. Carly Beth has tied this door with a ribbon, and she told me that they was coming out of there, so she was locking the door.
Did she say what she thought they were? No.
She called them her friends.
Right, okay. In general, are the kids kind of very frightened by what's going on?
It's Carly Beth mainly, but she'll come up here, but she'll only be up here for about 15 minutes, and then she'll come running downstairs. Sometimes she's been shaking.
She's got herself into quite a state. So what will be interesting to me is to see whether we can actually pick up any of these phenomena tonight when we've got actually cameras and recording equipment. If we get something happening tonight, then that'll be really intriguing, but I'll wait and see.
After Mia and the experts have toured the house, Mia meets the family for the first time to let them know her findings.
I must say it's the most strangest house I've probably ever been into. The pool's upstairs, and so I went upstairs, I went into the front bedroom, which I take to be your bedroom, and on the bed it's as if pressure, as if I can't move on the bed. So I should imagine you felt pressure there, or very paralysed feeling.
Mia describes Carly Beth's relationship with one of her imaginary friends, Chloe.
I've got a child, a young child, talking about somebody, their friend. A child has picked something up in this house and spoken to somebody, spirit.
Mia says she's repeatedly getting the image of a doorway.
I think it's nearly like a void. It's like it would suck things in. It's live. It's like left door open. So you're going to have lots of things going on.
Could this house contain a route for spirits into our world?
But at the bottom of it all is just one thing. And I wouldn't leave this place without getting rid of it. It would be unfair. You couldn't live in it. So you're going to stay with us for the night?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Seemingly, Mia's been accurate with her findings.
I didn't really expect her to get everything right on first time that she's seen us, but she was brilliant.
Mia's made the girls feel more relaxed. However, she says there's something very menacing in the house.
Heather Harris lives in constant fear of something that she believes threatens to harm her children. Determined to win her home back from whatever's occupying it, she's agreed to take part in a vigil with our 3 experts. But Heather is so terrified that her sisters have come along to offer moral support.
It's 10:30 on the night of the vigil. Mark sets his paranormal detection equipment around the house.
As this is the room that's reported to have the most activity, this is where we're going to concentrate a lot of our equipment. This is the Sapphire EMF. This will measure your electromagnetic fluctuations. And lastly, these are motion sensors.
In addition to Mark's usual equipment, a thermal imaging camera has been set up in the children's bedroom. This will record temperature fluctuations, which some believe indicate paranormal activity. Just before the vigil begins, Mia visits the children's room. She is perplexed by the sensation she's picking up there.
I have never been in a house that so physically affected me. I should imagine that the family have been torn apart by this. It's so important we sort it out. They can't live in that fear anymore.
The children have been sent away for the night. Skeptic Chris will monitor the proceedings from the objective distance of the Winnebago parked outside. Static cameras have been set up in the living room and upstairs in the children's bedroom. All is set for the vigil to begin.
Okay, girls, it's 12 o'clock, midnight, and any minute now the lights are going to go off. Don't panic, breathe, and relax into it, okay? Here we go.
Heather, afraid to be in her own house, tries to keep it together.
I was nervous, panicking a bit because lights were off.
It doesn't take long for Tracy to claim she feels a presence.
Start off I thought it was just when the lights go out, I thought it was just my eyes, but I seen like sparkly, twinkly bits on the chimney.
Mia appears to have noticed something by the kitchen. She tries to tell Mark without alarming the sisters.
Watch the area over there.
Heather watches closely as Mia seems increasingly enthralled by the movement near the kitchen. "15 minutes have passed and Mia's attention is drawn away from the kitchen to the children's bedroom upstairs.
I keep seeing lights go up the side, right? Up the chimney. And that's where the kids' bedroom is up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the children's bedroom, the thermal imaging camera is recording temperature fluctuations.
I want to go up and have a look. I'm going to leave you here because I want to follow my instincts and have a look upstairs, okay?
Mia says she's concerned with what she might find in the children's bedroom.
When I was downstairs, I could see the things coming out of the chimney, and I think the chimney's this bit here. Must be. So I just want to stay in here a bit and see if it comes back up through. Okay. I've got this horrible feeling in this room of that shifting.
This room's got a definite feeling different to the rest of the house.
I have to put my back against the wall because it feels like it's rocking.
Mia begins to grasp why the room has had such an impact on Carly Beth and Casey.
It's like an energy warp of some sort, like going in some sort of energy field. Have you got your meters in this room, yeah?
Yeah.
Portal doorway.
Mia is now convinced the cupboard is the source of all the paranormal activity. This falls in line with what Heather claimed earlier. After 5 minutes in the room, Mia says she feels really ill.
My chest feels really tight. Heavy. It's like a headache. I feel heavy chest.
Meanwhile, downstairs, the sisters also say they feel unwell.
Yeah, I felt sick, headaches.
My heart started racing. I got a real bad, thick head right in the middle. I just felt really, really sick.
I'm starting to feel physically unwell now.
After only 6 minutes in the children's room, Mia and Mark are keen to leave and investigate Heather's room.
God, it'd be nice to get out of here.
This is ridiculous.
I'm feeling it in here as well.
My body feels like it's been on a fairground ride.
Now claiming to be very ill, Mia decides it's time to take a break from the vigil and the house. The family retreat to the Winnebago for some questioning from Chris.
Can you tell me what you experienced, if anything, during that first half hour?
I suddenly went cold on my feet and my legs.
It felt like somebody was playing with my hair.
I felt as though somebody was stroking both sides of my face. I had like a stroking feeling on the bottom of my leg.
The sisters are displaying what some claim are classic symptoms of paranormal activity.
Did any of you hear anything?
Yeah, the clinking kitchen.
Right. And did you all hear that, do you think?
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I'm going to go inside and have a look around myself and see what I make of it.
Mia, now feeling better, is eager to talk to the sisters about her experiences.
Certainly got a strange house.
Whilst the house is empty, Mark and Chris go in to investigate.
I have to admit that actually when I went into the children's room, I was standing there and I was deliberately trying to kind of make the suggestion to myself that the room was swaying, the room was changing. Then you could actually feel some of that. Under those kind of conditions where people are very stressed, tired, that's exactly the kind of conditions where those kind of suggestions are going to be very powerful.
Having checked the temperature downstairs, Mark goes up to Heather's room.
Temperature reading I'm getting in here is 21.9 degrees. So we've gone up by 0.7 degrees, I believe it is.
Back in the Winnebago, Mia has an ulterior motive for talking to the sisters.
I'm hoping you're going to come and have a walk round with me and see how you feel. Now, I can't force you to do that, but I'll hold your hand, because I just like to see if you're having the same thing as me or something different.
After some persuading, it takes everything Heather has to enter the house with Mia in the pitch black.
Now, if you feel anything, I want you to tell me. What we're going to do in a minute, we're going to try standing up. Change your torch hand. Hold my hand. Ready? You can whisper it down again if you want to.
Heather claims to feel the same rocking sensation.
You're rocking. It's a strange sensation, isn't it?
I've never had that before.
Have you not?
No.
Can you feel yourself rocking?
Yeah.
Mia then tries to persuade Heather to enter what they believe to be the most haunted room in the house.
Are you up for it? Okay.
Overcome with fear, Heather doesn't think she can do it.
Lean against the wall, lean against the walls. How's your heart feeling?
It's starting to get a bit faster.
And I could have brought your sisters up or somebody else, but it's your home. And it's your home we're going to sort out. And by doing this tonight, tomorrow you'll feel the difference.
Clutching Mia's hand tightly, Heather enters the room in the pitch black.
You don't want to go in? No. Yeah. Okay. We're just going to come in and lean ourselves against the back of this wall. Okay.
She's determined to see this through for her children.
Good girl. I don't like it. I know. I won't go anywhere. I'm just still right here. Just try it once without holding on. No, I don't like it. It's a very strange sensation, isn't it? I feel sick. You feel sick? Yeah. Good enough? Yeah. Alright, we'll go downstairs. Okay.
Unnerved by tonight's vigil, Mia believes that spirits have entered through the portal in the children's bedroom.
What I didn't want to tell them is that I've actually never come across something like this before. And until I start the clearing, I don't know what I'm up against.
Okay, I think the most interesting thing about last night was the reaction that we got from Mia and Mark when they were in the children's room. Mia in particular felt that the whole room was kind of changing in various ways, was swaying, and Mark too seemed to get kind of caught up in that. And I think what we were seeing there was almost certainly just the effects of suggestion.
I believe that some of the ladies felt like their faces were being rubbed or stroked in the living room. Unfortunately, none of us were there to witness this.
After the night's events, the two camps, skeptic and believers, can't agree. Mia, Mark and Heather all say they experienced strange rocking sensations, and Heather even asked to leave the house. None of that impresses Chris French, who remains an ardent skeptic, but even he can't provide an alternative theory to convince Heather.
So, will Chris be convinced when Mia finally confronts the ghost?
It's a man. He has a mark around his neck as if he's been hung.
Psychics claim they have a gift that enables them to communicate with the dead. They say they have the power to rid homes of unwanted ghosts and spirits forever. Tonight, Mia says she'll do just that for the Harris family in a clearing ceremony. It's a process that lasts about 20 minutes, but it's an intense period of time. Mia says she'll work with her spirit guide to summon the spirit and send it over to the other side.
For me to get rid of something, I have to bring it to me and lock it. It's actually my guide that takes it over. So I'm going to close my eyes for a second and locate, hopefully, whatever we've got in here and bring it to the room. Okay, what I'm doing now is I can see the stairs. Going up the stairs. As I'm looking at the child's room by the cupboards, as if there's something standing against it. It's a man. Okay, he's starting to come out of the room. He's in the hallway. He's not wanting to come down very easily, just take a bit of time. Okay, top of the stairs. Coming down. Coming in. Okay. His name's Jack. Well, look, Jack. I think it's Pullman or Pull something. I'm seeing butcher's hooks. Slaughterhouse. He's not talking to me, I'm getting the images. He has a mark around his neck as if he's been hung or strangled. The feeling of upstairs of the rocking was at me. That was his way of trying to get me out. There's a hanging place near here. He doesn't want to go because he's still looking for the person whose fault it is why he's dead. Coming towards the table. I'm going to send him over, hopefully.
Mia says a prayer that she claims will send the spirit on a safe journey.
De profundus clamavi, ad de Domini, Domini exaudi vocem, meam fiant oris diu, intendentes invocium, deprecationis meae, sine creatus observabus, Domini Domini questus denili.
A sense of calm falls upon the room.
He wasn't getting at you. I think that you have been very unhappy. And you're able to see more than other people could see and hear more. And probably your sensitivity awakened it. But it wasn't directed at you. Nobody was trying to hurt you.
Tracy is keen to let Mia know how the clearing affected her.
My legs are really heavy. And then there were a draft outside of me as well.
He actually came and stood right by you.
Yeah,
I decided not to tell you that.
I know. I think I poked him.
During the clearing, Mia says she spoke to a ghost called Jack, who told her that he was hanged near to the house. The ceremony was an intense experience, and Heather's sister Tracy says that she felt something or someone right next to her. Now that was confirmed by Mia, who said she sensed a spirit next to Tracy. As for Jack's story, well, local historical archives couldn't provide a name, but it is true to say that hanging in this country was common until it was abolished in 1965.
It's been 2 months since the clearing, and we've returned to the Harris' house to see if they're now happy in their own home.
I do know that the person what was here before isn't here anymore, because the whole house is lifted.
I don't feel scared anymore. My heart don't race anymore. The kids are quite happy in the house. They go to bed.
Carly Beth says her imaginary friends are gone.
Carly Beth is now saying we used to have friends here, but there ain't any anymore. Because Carly Beth's saying that, it's making me feel a lot better.
Heather says that she's had a weight lifted off her shoulders now that her children are happy and Carly Beth has no more visitors.
I'll never forget what she's done. She's helped me and my children to feel safe.
If Mia was here today, I'd give her a great big hug, a great big kiss and say thank you very much.
And I'm just glad that I've got my house back.
It's good news for the Harris family. Heather says that her daughter Carly Beth has now stopped talking to ghosts and that her house is now her home again. The only noises she'll be hearing from that baby monitor are her 2 daughters. But for other families, the uncertainty continues. Bad plumbing, faulty electrics, the silhouette you keep on seeing in the bedroom, but only from the corner of your eye. How can you be certain what those shadows and sounds really are? Haunted homes aren't just the product of horror movies made in Hollywood. Perhaps tonight's evidence suggests that people living in your town and in your street have unwanted visitors. Sleep well. Good night.